So I think one group that's been at the forefront of the whole work from home experience has been artists. Depending on what kind of artist you are, you could theoretically work from anywhere. And a lot of artists have been diversifying their revenue streams by doing live streaming or uploading educational content. So in this edition of The Grind, we're going to take a look at how you can live stream and or record your art. So first, let's get into some of the requirements. So you'll need a PC or laptop to do this. It doesn't really matter. In fact, if you want to see a cool video we put together about how to build your own PC for live streaming, you can check it out with the link above. But the short story is have like at least a 6-core CPU or an NVIDIA RTX GPU. So if you're going to be showing some type of physical art like a sculpture or a painting, then you're basically going to need a camera for this. So a really cheap option is a Logitech C920 webcam, or you can actually use your cell phone. So if you get XSplit VCam and the XSplit Connect app, it's on iOS or Android, and you make sure that your camera and your PC are on the same Wi-Fi network, then you can use it as a webcam over Wi-Fi. Now, if you're going to be doing something with your iPad, like let's say Procreate or something, or some type of digital art, then there's two ways to capture this. You can actually output through like a dongle through HDMI into a capture card and capture it that way, or you can use a software like AirServer to basically mirror your screen onto your PC and then screen capture that. Oh, and it's also pretty handy to have a microphone around. So setup in XSplit itself is pretty straightforward. We're going to set the resolution to 1920 by 1080, going to set the frame rate to 30, and then you're going to want to add your sources. So if you're having physical art, you want to add your camera source. That could be your webcam or your phone. If you're going to be doing digital art, you want to capture your PC desktop or perhaps the AirServer window, then you're going to use screen capture. And then after that, if you have the cameras for it, you probably want to add a face cam. This is a really good way to kind of connect yourself with your audience. Then you just need to set up your audio settings. So first select your microphone source. This is whatever microphone you connected. And then keep your system sound source as default. This basically is capturing any sources that are playing back on your PC. So if you're playing music or something in the background, this will capture all that. So there's a couple extra sources that might actually be helpful to you. So the first one is the keyboard input display. And what this basically shows is any of your keyboard inputs. So if you're doing a tutorial on some software and you want to show like shortcuts, this is really handy for that. The next one is the text source. So the text source, you can actually use a custom script, and this script could be like a timer. So if you're doing like an educational session and it's only for an hour, you can set a timer for that. And then finally, you should set up a starting soon scene. So basically this is like a standby or break scene. And this is really handy. So you can get everything set up and display the scene and then push yourself live to make sure that you're ready. All right, so now that you have your scene set up, let's get to streaming and or recording. So first is streaming. So if you're streaming to any of the popular platforms like Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, you can actually just go to these outputs and just log into your account and there's automatic settings for you. Now, if you're streaming to a different platform, you can actually use custom RTMP. And here you need to input the RTMP URL and your stream key. So with custom RTMP, you actually need to input your encoding settings. The most important one is bitrate. And I've linked to a doc with different bitrate values for different resolutions. But basically, take a look at your upload speed. And as long as your bitrate isn't higher than 70% of your upload speed, you're pretty good to go. But after that's done, you can click OK and you can just start streaming and you're ready to go. Now, if you want to make a recording of this and you don't have the bandwidth to do a separate recording encode, then you can just enable this setting here to create a carbon copy of your stream. So next is recording settings. Just click in this menu here to access the recording settings. And then you just want to set your quality to ultra high. If you have one of those RTX GPUs, I recommend using the NVENC encoder. And I also recommend enabling force constant frame rate and multi-track recording, especially if you're going to be editing this footage in post. It's going to give you a lot more options. Then just hit OK and then start recording as you like. You can also pause your recordings if you want to. And when you're done, if you want to do like a screenshot, you just click this button here and you can use this as like a thumbnail image when you upload it to YouTube. So that's pretty much all it takes to get started streaming your artwork, but there's other things you need to do. You need to promote yourself and get your name out there. Or hey, maybe you're just doing this to archive yourself for a future documentary. You never know, but I want to know from you, like, do you watch any artists or any artist streams? Which ones do you watch? And what kind of software do you use for your digital art? Let me know in the comments. Thanks again for watching. If this was helpful, like and share it, and be sure to subscribe for more ways that we can stay on the grind.